Hang on 1 second. I'm having cereal for lunch. Extra protein granola. Really good. Pardon me. I don't know about y'all, those little random rattles and stuff. I don't know. I'm weird. Can y'all? I don't know. Can y'all see that okay down there? They don't look great to start out with. You just initially cut it in, then you go back and go over it again and again and again to get them all just how you want them. I started down here and now I'm working my way up here. I try to keep them as symmetrical as possible. Like I said, this would be easier before you heat treated it, because you can see how far I'm scratching down into there. I'm having to put a lot of pressure on because it isn't soft like it is when it's annealed. Yeah, Bladesmith terms, annealed is the softest state of the steel. It's when the molecules within the steel are all in what they call a relaxed state. When you heat up a piece of steel to critical temperature, which most that I use is around 1500 degrees, it will no longer be magnetic, and if you quench it in warm oil at that temperature, this thing will come out 3 times harder than before. So hard, in fact, that it's too hard. If you dropped it or hit it on something or tried to use it for a pry bar right now, it would just snap like a twig because it is super hard, like a diamond, but, well, not as hard as a diamond, but it could be easily cracked or chipped or whatever. So then I put it back in my oven here in the house at 400 degrees, or 405, I think I do, a little extra insurance, for two hours, 2 cycles, on a regular size knife like this. Smaller ones may only do an hour, a little neck knife or pocket knife or whatever. Anyway, this is what we're doing. I'm just going to keep working on it. We'll see if we can make it improve as we go. I don't really like doing videos, but I like being able to share what I do and to even teach if people are willing to learn. I mean, my methods and practices have just developed over 30 years, actually. Going closer to 40 now. I'm fooling with these things. I've pretty much done it all. I've forged everything I could think to forge. I've made pocket knives, made straight knives, made little knives, big knives, in between knives, kitchen knives, army knives, navy knives, police knives, rescue knives, swords. Yeah, so, I don't know. I was born with a love of metal. And so, you see me doing stuff, and you're like, well, the other guy on YouTube didn't do that. Well, this guy didn't see a YouTube video on anything till much later in his life. So, I'm still not totally up on all this, but I do like this idea of just having, you just sit and watch. I don't want to be too casual, but, we'll see. New territory, I'm open to comments and suggestions about the video portion. Right now I've just got my phone sitting here on a telescope stand, and we got a little thing here to attach it, and got two rubber bands up here at the top. It seems to be working good. I used to make some of the most beautiful, perfect angles, perfect lines and everything, but I mean, it'd drive anybody crazy trying to do that on a daily basis. At that point, it's no longer a hobby, it's an obsession, and it's not fun anymore. And my knife making doesn't depend on whether people buy them or not. I'm still going to make them. If nobody buys them, somebody will get them when I die, or they'll all go to a landfill or something. I think I'm just about where I want to be with this. A couple more lines. I'm trying to keep at a 45-degree angle going up like that. And so far it's looking pretty good. If they are off in spacing or whatever, it's less than a millimeter. So there's not much I can do about that. I'm not a CNC machine, so I don't deal in thousandths of an inch. I deal with what my old eyes will let me see. And I do measure and mark. Try to idiot-proof my stuff as much as possible. Some things I used to mark real meticulously for. Just certain things, I knew that measurement had to be spot on. I couldn't fudge it either way. But as I continued on, I began to learn things that I can just do fast and furious and still do a good job, and things that I need to slow down. So try to keep my eye on the gas pedal and the brake when I'm making these. Because if I get really excited, I'll rush just trying to get it done so I can see it. But I really like this one. It's actually it's spoken for. Won't say who, they might be watching this, but yeah. And this is how I like to work. Come to me, tell me what you do for a living, or tell me there's a specific task or hobby that you're into that you need a specific cutting edge or blade for. I love those kind of things, and I like making things ergonomic. I took a guy who had real bad arthritis. He was my age, and it just set in on him early, but he was all gnarled up like that. But he wanted a camp knife. He loved to go camping, so I said okay. I went and bought me some Play-Doh, and I rolled it up in a roll about, probably an inch and a quarter diameter, I'd say, something like that. But and I let it firm up a little bit. It's just a cylinder, about 5 inches long. And I said, I'm going to hold this, and I just want you to reach and grab it like you're going to hold a knife, and then just gently let your fingers relax around it and make the indentations. Don't squish it, just you see the indentations. And that's what we did, and it turned out really good. And I mean, I couldn't hold that crazy thing, but I mean, he put it in his hand, it looks like it was made for it. It was really cool. So I like doing custom orders. I like seeing what your vision will look like blended with my vision, because I really believe even in something as serious and meticulous as knife making, you can still have fun, you can be whimsical, you can be artistic. I've made plenty of down for battle knives. Not everybody needs one of those. Not like some of us do. I like making collector's things. I like using items, found items, to sort of do a theme on a knife or something like that. Right now I've got some unit crests from an Army unit that wants some custom knives, and they want that Army unit crest incorporated into the knife. So that's going to be pretty sweet. It is. But I think those will look pretty bad, just a good combat knife with that unit crest probably embedded in the handle or acid etched into the blade. Let's give it one more, I think. Trying to keep this edge right here even or parallel to these lines. So each time I go back, I'm parallel to that. That's kind of helps me keep it fairly straight. Now I'm looking at this line and this line. Just trying to stay right on it and stay even. Ta-da! Okay, let's pop this up here and give it a gander. This, like I said, this is just the first pass, so I mean it'll be several passes before it starts to look like something. But can you see that there? There. Just crisscross pattern, and I'm gonna get these a little better, a little deeper in there, and then I'll start doing some other embellishments on it. So that's they call this part of the knife the spine, and they call this file work. Wonder why? Yes. So yeah, it's just file work. It's mainly for decorative purposes. Makes it easier for the owner to identify. All right, brothers and sisters, and the mamas and the papas, and little bitty kids. See you next time. Might be today, might be tomorrow. See ya.